everybody is going to feel the pain. And that's, you know, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent. Everybody's going to feel the pain here. And I think this country is in for a rude awakening right now. We're a sixth generation farm. There's four generations currently living on our farm. I have two sons, my dad and my brother. We're all in business together. We farm about 5,000 acres. We got several thousand head of cattle. We employ about 45 people. So I deal with a lot of families. So I feel, as a business owner, providing for these people too. I mean, it puts pressure on me when my milk price gets 45% of it gets taken away. How do I provide for all these? My cash flow has got to be there on a daily basis. For one thing, in agriculture, we've been through 4 or 5 bad years of prices. So everybody right now is financially strapped. This past year with the tariffs, and I understand why the tariffs needed to happen. But when we're forced with bad prices year after year after year, you have to catch up. And last fall, we were starting to catch up. Prices were getting better for us. But all of a sudden, when Corona hit, or COVID-19 hit, everything's collapsing on the agricultural side. I mean, you're seeing corn right now projected at $2. I mean, you can't sell corn below your break even. I mean, most break evens on corn probably $4 a bushel. And you're going to sell corn this fall for maybe $2 because ethanol. There's no ethanol plants. Where's this corn going to go? And the other problem we're seeing right now, everybody likes cheap gas, okay? But cheap gas is not a good thing as far as long-term in this country, because what's happening is 40% of our nation's corn gets put through an ethanol plant, okay? Ethanol plants right now at this cheap price can't sustain themselves. They're shutting down, which is going to create another problem because one of the byproducts of the ethanol industry is byproduct feeds like distillers grains. Well, the distiller grains are used in a lot of livestock sectors in the United States. Beef, dairy, those are the big ones. There is no distiller grains right now. It's going to be hard to find. So that's going to put more pressure on other commodities. And the same thing with beef. I mean, you can buy hamburger at the store right now. Go to Walmart, go to Myers, go to Festival Foods. You probably see hamburger right now, $4.50 a pound, $5 a pound for a hamburger. What's a farmer getting? We're lucky to get $1 a pound hanging weight right now. So same thing with milk and cheese. I mean, cheese right now, the Chicago Board of Trade on the CME is at $1 a pound right now. $1. Now, what are you going to buy at the store? Is it $5, $6 a pound? I mean, that's hyperinflation, really. So, yeah, you're going to have more expensive food probably in the grocery stores, but the producers are we're getting shafted right now with prices that we can't keep our businesses going. And it's also in the vegetable industry also. I mean, Florida right now should be picking crops, California also, and they're lacking workers because the border shut down. Can't get H-2A workers in, who are very highly skilled people. There's a lot of planting down south that should be going on right now, and they're having a hard time getting vegetables planted. November, December, we were at $20 milk per hundredweight, and now for May, we're going to be at 11. I'm seeing disruptions as far as plant capability, as far as processing our milk and our beef. There's a lot of disruptions out there right now, because when the restaurants close down and schools close down, all the pressure on our food chain got put onto the stores. And that's what we're seeing all over. You've probably seen a lot of milk dumping. That's because the plants can't handle it right now. There's not a shortage of food out there right now, but the plants can't process it right now because we're lacking workers. We're lacking the processing capabilities of getting this all in through the one channel of our grocery stores right now. So this is a big deal. The Smithfield pork plant in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, shut down. It's the biggest pork processing facility that I know of in the Midwest, maybe in the United States. That's going to disrupt the pork industry immensely. JBS just closed a plant in Colorado this past week for beef. So once you start shutting plants down, the supply chain is going to get backed up. Most farmers will try to plant what they can. We're gonna. But the problem is maybe 6 months, 12 months from now in the future, if these prices don't rebound, then what? I mean, if we don't have the processing capabilities 6 months, 12 months from now, then what? I mean, it's going to get real critical. In our state, we can't even go to a Menards or a Myers right now and buy vegetable seeds. We're not allowed to. Agriculture right now is about 1 or 2% of your population as far as that produce. But it's bigger than that because you start talking processing plants, the trucking, the stores. It's a big deal. We've lived in the land of plenty for a long time. American farmer, whether vegetable, dairy, beef, poultry, swine, we're awesome at what we do. We can produce. The world looks to us for technology. They look for food from us. Last year in dairy, we exported about 16%, which is a huge deal. Exports right now aren't happening a whole lot right now too because of everything's shut down. So this is a big deal right now. That's what's going on, and I really don't know if our government really knows what is going on long term. So we're seeing a whole. You look at the supply chain, stores, restaurants, schools, and us as producers. It's a fine knit group, but right now the whole group's been kind of just been fractured. So everybody's trying to figure out how to get this thing back together, and it's putting a lot of stress on a lot of different sectors. At Johnson Farms, we're doing everything we can to make this thing work. I've communicated with all my lenders, my feed mills, all my vendors I deal business with. There's probably 50 or 60 businesses I deal with on a monthly basis. And every one of them is going to get impacted. Every one. Doesn't matter if it's my John Deere dealer, my Case IH dealer, my well driller, my electrical company, my feed mill. We've never experienced empty shelves in this country. We've never experienced really what it means to be hungry in this country. And I think the food supply needs to be very well protected. I mean, that infrastructure's got to be intact. The economy's still got to roll. As far as food in this country, you shut that down. I mean, 6 months, 12 months from now, how do you just can't turn the switch on. And I just talked to my state senator last night. And yes, New York City, Detroit, maybe Chicago, the large cities have a problem. Open up the countryside. Open up. I think we need to take things in perspective. That's why we're in a day and age right now where no one's really thought through the consequences of what's going to happen. So that's what really puts the pressure on a business owner right now. And that's, government can come up with these programs for all these businesses, but that's not going to save them. They have to be able to run. And that's the hard part. Our agriculture sector last week said that our food industry we've got a lot of food, and yes, we do. But if something's not done as far as this economy, that's going to be in jeopardy. My bottom line is the economy needs to start moving. This has gone on too far. I mean, for yourself, can you imagine going to the grocery store and not having food? I mean, people are worried about COVID-19. But what's the fear going to be if you can't get food? Think about it. Where are people in the cities going to go for food? They all think it comes from a grocery store in their minds. No, it comes from a farm.